Someone presents me with a parcel number or an address. We use the Montgomery County Treasurer's website to determine whether or not it's eligible. We use this rather than the auditor site because the treasurer is going to have the most up-to-date information about the taxes. So if someone says they're interested in, let's see, 704 Webster Street. And we encourage applicants to do this themselves. We're not interested in doing it for them. We're interested in helping them through the process. So everything an applicant needs to know about initiating a tax foreclosure through the Lot Links program, through the City of Dayton, to determine eligibility can be located on the Montgomery County Treasurer's website, except for two pieces of information. One is they have to go look at the property because they're going to have to determine that it is absolutely positively vacant and abandoned. And then the other thing that they're going to have to do is to find out from me whether or not someone else has already applied for the property. So the criteria for qualifications to be in the Lot Links program would be that the property, first of all, has to be in the City of Dayton. And you can tell that by the parcel number. If the parcel is in the City of Dayton, it will begin with R72. So if they have an address they're interested in, they plug it in and it comes up with an E or an I, it's not going to be in the City of Dayton, and therefore they can eliminate it immediately. The next thing that they want to look at is the second box in the right-hand column where it says tax lien eligible. There are only three possibilities here. It's either going to say yes or no or sold. If the tax lien has been sold, it will not be eligible. If it says no, it means the taxes are paid up and it's not going to be eligible for a foreclosure. If it says yes, that is not necessarily an indication of eligibility because the city requires that the property be at least 2 years in arrears. So if it says yes, they would need to go up to taxes, click on the taxes tab, come down to the fourth box, which is the prior year charges delinquent taxes box, and then look at the payments column. They made payments, they didn't make payments. They made payments, they did not make payments. So the last section here where they did not make payments began in 2007. So they are definitely more than 2 years in arrears on taxes. The next thing that they want to check is to make sure that the property owner has not set up a payment plan with the county. And you would go to the bottom of the delinquent taxes box and make sure it does not indicate right here that there is a delinquent contract. Normally there would be an asterisk and it would say delinquent contract, and then you'd see some red lettering that indicated that you would need to call the treasurer's office to find out what the true payoff amount is. So there cannot be a payment plan, must be 2 years in arrears, must be in the City of Dayton, and cannot have had the tax lien sold. So the other things are, it has to be vacant and abandoned, and then they can provide me with that parcel number and that address. They can do it by email, they can do it by voice message, and ask if someone else has already applied. That saves them the time of filling out an application, writing a check, taking a photo, and bringing the application down to the City of Dayton, only to have it returned to them. So that's the process to determine eligibility. The other thing that you can do from the treasurer's website, and this is by no means it's just something that I thought would be easier to help folks be strategic in their search for vacant properties. If you notice on the master records screen on the left hand side, about the middle, there's an option for file downloads. If you're on the taxes tab, it's the same options. If you're on the search screen, it's the same options. So if you click File Downloads, it asks you what you want to download. And if you tell it delinquent files, because after all, it has to be delinquent in order to qualify. And then it asks you which delinquent file do you want. The most current one will always be at the top. They do this monthly. Do you want to open the file or save it? You want to open it, not save it. You need to double click it to open it. So, and again, this is just something that I would do if I were in the position of trying to be strategic about looking for delinquent properties rather than aimlessly driving around finding something that looks vacant and then coming back to check it out. This is the delinquent tax file. So as of the end of August, what do I care about? I care about the parcel ID number. That's something I'll need. And I care about the parcel location. What is the address for this? And there are a number of addresses in here if you look at all these columns of information. The parcel location is what I care about. Parcel ID is in A, parcel location is in X. So I would just right click and delete. And then I would get rid of everything else. Right click and delete. And I'd open these up so I could read them. I've narrowed it down to 2 fields of information that are important to me. And then I would highlight them. I would sort them. And I would sort them Z to A, upside down. That's going to throw all of the City of Dayton properties to the top, all the R72s. And if you look at this file, you will note that there are 35,144 delinquent tax records in Montgomery County as of the end of August. We know that there are roughly 20,000 or so tax delinquent properties in the City of Dayton, so I'm just going to look for the breaking point from R72s to right there. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to hit Shift, Control, End, and then delete. Now I've wiped out if I wanted to look for Main Street. I'm not looking for Main Street in Riverside, West Carrollton, Trotwood. I'm looking at Main Street, Dayton only because all I have are Dayton properties in here. So if I want to search for a particular street, and I've gone around to various neighborhoods and found a neighborhood that I felt was stable and that had people taking care of their homes, and I would really like to find the tax delinquent properties in that neighborhood on 2 or 3 streets, whatever it is that you're looking for. You would come over here to Find and select, hit Find, and then give me a street name.
Gunkel.
Huge. Okay. Gunkel. It's okay.
Sorry.
There's 10 properties that are in this tax delinquent file on Gunkel. Now here's where I'm no genius when it comes to Excel, and I'm no programmer, but the only thing that I've figured out is when you find it here, it'll give you the parcel number over here. You click on it here, it finds it in the larger. The parcel number is not showing here. So the only thing that I do is write the parcel numbers down. So since there's only 10, that's probably a good exercise. So this is all on Gunkel. So we've got 156. They're all going to start with R72. So this is going to be 034080058. It's going to be 160 to 162, and it's going to be now these are all a delinquent file, but this file is only updated monthly, so this is as of the end of August. It's possible someone who was tax delinquent in August paid their taxes beginning of September. It's also possible that the county, I mean, I know they didn't, but it's also possible the county held a tax lien sale, and some of these were sold a tax lien. A tax lien was sold. It's also possible that someone set up a payment plan with the county. So even though this was true as of the end of August, you'll need to go back and put these back into that search screen individually. And I do it by parcel number because the address nomenclature between the City of Dayton and the county can vary.
So this is for that, okay, the first address on Gunkel?
This is for the first one, right, 156 Gunkel. And so, again, it's going to give you the parcel number. It's going to show you the address. It's going to show you who owns it. And then you're going to look here to see if it's tax lien eligible. The other thing that I tell folks is the Lot Links program started out to be a program where you acquire vacant lots next to your home. It's morphed over the years, and actually right now we have more applicants who are looking to rehab buildings to live in, to sell, or to rent. So if you want to know, again, you haven't been out there yet, you're doing this work at home on your computer to save time, you want to know whether or not there's a structure there, you can come to the bottom of this, look at the current values, 100%. The treasurer, and this is the treasurer's values for tax purposes, the land has been valued at $13,570, and the improvements, which would be any structures on the property, has been valued at $60,310 for a total value. If you saw a 0 right here, that would indicate it's a vacant lot, and if you're not interested in vacant lots, you can just go right on to the next.
So 0 right where? At the
right here,
under the improvements?
Under improvements, right.
Okay.
Okay, so this one has a house. It is in arrears. We just need to find out how far. It does have a house. So you're going to click the taxes. You're going to come down to the delinquent box. And here's one that has a payment plan. So that one you can cross off your list. It is not eligible for Lot Links. Next one, which is 160-162 Gunkel. It'll be R72 03408 0056. And confirm the address, the parcel number, the owner. It is eligible, and it does not have a house on it. So if you're not interested, you can cross that off your list and go on to the next one. And so you do a search. And the next one will be 322 Gunkel, which is R72 03406 0011. And this is no, so they've paid their taxes. So you can cross that one off your list. Next, R72. This is 218 03406 233. And this is no, taxes have been paid. So you can see where, as you just go down the line, you might find on a particular street in a neighborhood that you're interested in, without ever visiting there, that there are 40 potential properties. As you go through this exercise, you may eliminate anything that does not have a house on it, anything that has already had the taxes paid up, anything that has a payment plan, anything where the tax lien has been sold, so that you've now narrowed it down to 10 properties out of 40. You can then send that list of 10 properties to me and ask if anyone has applied for those. If I come back and tell you that 5 of them have been applied for, you go one time down one street with 5 addresses in your hand, you look at them, you see that 3 are occupied, 1 has been burned out, that leaves you with 1 option, and all you've had to do is go down the street one time. One of the things people always want to know is, how can I get into the property? I want to see what the property looks like. That's understandable if you are looking to rehab a house. Unfortunately, the City of Dayton does not own these properties. They are tax delinquent properties owned by someone else. Therefore, we have no authority or right to give anyone permission to go into these properties, and neither does the county. That's why the foreclosure is taking place, so that you can take ownership away from the tax delinquent owner. So the only person that can really give you permission to go into that property is the owner themselves. However, because the city has a disclosure ordinance, you can go to the official City of Dayton website. You can go to Departments, Building Services, click on the, it's been so long, so there it is, Disclosure Ordinance and Forms. And you want to look at the Property Disclosure Database. And then you can type in the address of the property you're interested in. Let's see, we have one on Gunkel. Let's look at 333 Gunkel. Whoops, wrong place. Gunkel. And search. Okay, first thing you want to look for, is it on the nuisance demolition list? If a property is in such bad shape that it's been determined a nuisance and it needs to be demolished, it may be on the nuisance demolition list. Being on the nuisance demolition list does not necessarily mean that the property is going to be demolished anytime soon. There's a huge list of properties that need to be demolished. That's what it means. It needs to be demolished. They get demolished as the city is able to acquire funding to do that. So you might find a property, if you've had an opportunity, sometimes these places are open, people have had an opportunity to go inside and they look at it and it doesn't scare them. They figure, I know what I'm doing, I've rehabbed places before, but it's on, and it would say yes, it's on the nuisance list. What you would want to do is to contact them in nuisance demolition and let them know that you're applying for it and that you know it's going to take a while, but if they receive funding, to please look elsewhere to expend those dollars to demolish something else, because this is a property you plan to bring back into useful service. So you can look at whatever violations may exist on that property. In this case, there's some peeling paint. So while you may not be able to go inside, you can find out if there are code violations. I'm not 100% certain. You might need to check with the folks in housing inspection, but I think they only update this list that's available on the website maybe every 6 months or so. But that would certainly be a place that you could draw information from and provide this as well, as somebody would key in information to find out how, as much as they could, about something that they would want to try to take ownership of through a foreclosure process. Sometimes the violation descriptions are not just from the outside. If the last time the housing inspector was out there, they were able to gain entry, you may find out some interesting facts about what's wrong inside the building. There may be missing heating and air conditioning system, missing hot water tank, that type of information. So it's just another way that you can make an educated decision about what you want to try to acquire. Okay, so if you are looking up something on the Treasurer's website, and you find the property, if you want to see where that is on a map, or you want to see what that looks like in terms of a photo, you can go from the Treasurer's website to the Auditor's website by clicking on Property Records. Do a property search. You can search by address or parcel, the same as in the Treasurer's site. So if we put in R72 03406 3, and you click search, property comes up. Open this. Then if you want to see a photo of the property, you can look at a photo. If you want to if you want to look at a map of where it appears, this will give you an idea of where the particular property is located. This can be beneficial if you are looking for vacant lots rather than houses, and there may be a house and a lot and a house and a big stretch of property and then another house, and you don't know if there's one parcel, two parcels, or three parcels. This, you can determine the actual parcels and where they're located on a particular street. Just need to put in a particular address so that it comes up as plotted on the map, and then you can look around it. So that could be helpful as well in looking for an eligible property, to see the photo, to see where it is on the map, to see any violations, to make sure it
And
qualifies.
then there's also Google Maps Street View, which
Yep.
can give you like a 360-degree
Yep.
look at a property as well. Property as well.